Loki, 10 best scenes that live rent-free in every fan's head. Before we start, I would like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Film Side. Here's Loki, 10 best scenes that live rent-free in every fan's heads. Number 10, Loki first arriving at the TVA. The moment Loki first appears at the TVA, fans knew that the show was going to be a completely different entity from what they had come before it. Between Loki being terrified of getting pruned to an animated video explaining the timekeepers, the scene is wonderfully weird and it perfectly sets the tone of fantasy series. On top of that, though there have been CGI characters in the MCU in the past, there hasn't been anything like Miss Minutes, an orange clock who acts like a mascot from the TVA. From that point, up to when Mobius, the breakout star of Loki, saves the god of mischief from getting pruned, the world of the TVA is gloriously peculiar. Number 9, the opening sequence for All Time Always. Most of the final episode was a giant exposition drop, as He Who Remains spent a good chunk of the 50 minutes explaining exactly what had been going on for the first 6 episodes. But at the same time, it was as epic as the finale on this level was expected to be, and that was clear from the very opening sequence. From Star-Lord yelling "Dance off bro" to Black Panther screaming "Wakanda forever," the show segues from voiceovers of quotes from MCU characters to iconic quotes from history, which was Kevin Feige's idea. Quotes from the likes of Neil Armstrong and Nelson Mandela act as a guide for the stunning visuals of the multiverse, and its most beautiful imagery that has come out of the franchise. Number 8, Loki and Sylvie bonding on Lamentis. Lamentis is the lowest rated episode of Loki by a significant margin, but there's still a lot to love about it. It might not be exciting for one of the most thrilling action sequences, but the scene on the train is one of the most thought-provoking moments in the series. The whole episode sees them bickering back and forth, but it's at the bar on the train where the two finally get to know each other. Loki does something he never has, as he opens up about his mother who is without being prompted. What makes the scene better is that they chatter while Loki drinks champagne, 2 glasses at a time. Number 7, meeting the Timekeepers. The Timekeepers were revealed to be nothing more than androids created by an, at the time, unknown entity, and the bait and switch was seen as a little polarizing. The characters are some of the most threatening villains in the comic books, but just as tends to be the case with so much in Loki, it was all smoke and mirrors. It wasn't just a reveal, but tonality. In the scene with the most aesthetically pleasing and theatrical for a fantasy show, the Timekeepers hovered on floating thrones as they spoke with such gravities. That's until Sylvie decapitates one of them. The scene alone is a large part of why the Nexus event is the best episode of Loki according to IMDb. Number 6, Mobius talking about jet skis. Mobius is the best recurring character of all Marvel's Disney Plus shows, and one of the reasons why is because he is fascinated with jet skis. In the Nexus event, when Loki asks Mobius about his jet ski magazine on his desk, nobody has ever spoken about jet skis so eloquently. If there isn't a scene at some point down the line in the MCU that sees Mobius on a jet ski, it'll be the biggest missed opportunity that has ever been. Or, as everyone who works for the TVA has technically been plucked out of the different timelines and had their memory erased, Mobius could very well have a jet ski rental in Miami in the 90s, and that's something fans want to see more than anything. Number 5, visiting Pompeii in 79 AD. When Loki is officially helping Mobius track down the evil Loki variant, 2012 Loki deduces that Loki variant must be hiding in a universe where the apocalypse happens. This leads them to Pompeii in 79 AD. It's another expertly written philosophical debate between Loki and Mobius, as Mobius is scared to step foot out of line as he did not to change the course of history, whereas Loki can't control his excitement about the end of the world. The god of mischief, even Loki performs his first ever selfless act, which is freeing several encaged goats. Not that it changes their fate, however. Number 4, the fight between Sylvie and Loki in the Citadel. The last thing any fan thought they'd ever see before the series began was Loki falling in love. Loki has never cared about anybody but himself, and though it might be narcissistic that he technically fell in love with a female version of himself, it's the most hopeless romantic love story in the MCU. It all accumulated in a sword fight that ended with a passionate kiss, but it was so much more than 2 heroes with similar powers facing off against each other. The 2 Loki variants fight with each other, though they don't want to because they have absolutely different perspectives on free will. Following the fight between the 2 visions in WandaVision that ends in a debate about existence, the MCU is making a habit out of philosophically charged final battles. Number 3, the one shot at the end of Lamentis. Between the 8-minute shootout in The True Detective and the war drama in 1917, long tracking shots are becoming more and more popular, but no movie trend is a trend until Marvel does it. The final 5 minutes of Lamentis is a tracking shot, or at least edited to look like it, of Loki and Sylvie racing through neon-lit streets to reach the evacuation ship and escape the moon. The camera frantically pans around and follows them as they kick in guards' heads and find alternate ways to reach a ship. It's an exciting and pivotal moment in the show, and it even ends with one of the biggest surprises in Loki, as the pair failed to board the evacuation ship and end up stranded on the moon. Number 2, the battle between all the Loki variants. Though it isn't quite as epic as the Battle of New York, the battle in the bowling alley in the void is full of tiny bizarre moments that make it the most memorable scene in the episode. It starts with Alligator Loki biting off President Loki's hand, and all hell is loose from there. Boastful Loki is double-crossing everyone, Kid Loki battle cries as he charges headfirst at a min 5 times his size, and Classic Loki is teleporting here, there, and everywhere. The single best moment in the scene is when the mammal is used by a weapon by Classic Loki and is literally thrown at one of the President Loki's minions. Number 1, Loki watching the video about his life. As fun as Loki is, fans never really had any kind of emotional attachment to the character, as he's never shown that side to him. However, that all changed when Mobius revealed to him that the video of his life had not picked up the Tesseract in Avengers Endgame. The character breaks down in tears when he sees the future self make amends with his brother, and then attempts to redeem himself on taking on Thanos. It might not have ended well, but the intention was still there. This scene was the turning point in Loki's movie-long arc, as it humanized him more than any other action, and it's only the beginning. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also watch the next 2 videos that are on your screen, because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.